Hello everyone, this is Blanca. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be creating a set of 4 coasters. I'm going to be using ceramic tile coasters and fabric. And the ceramic tile coasters are 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and my fabric squares are 4 inches by 4 inches. And as you can see here, I also added a butterfly. And I'm going to be using Mod Podge and triple thick to add these butterflies to my tiles and to seal them at the end. I am going to leave a link to the video where I iron on the butterflies into my fabric in case you would like to see it. And what I'm starting to do here is I'm just adding some Mod Podge directly to my tile, adding a thin line. Then I'm adding my fabric square, and I'm applying the leftover Mod Podge from my brush on top of my fabric square. And then I'm going to be repeating the same process on all 4 tiles. After I applied that first layer of Mod Podge and the leftover from my brush on top of the fabric square to seal it in, I let the squares dry for about an hour, and I came back with some Mod Podge and added another thin layer on top. Then I let those dry for another hour, and then I went ahead and added my triple thick to seal my tiles. Now my tiles are ready to be sealed with the triple thick. I'm just adding some wooden blocks on the bottom so I can create a space in between my bottom surface and my tile so that it can catch any drippings and it won't stick to my actual tile. And I'm just pouring the triple thick directly into my tile and spreading it around, trying to spread it as thinly as I can. And I'm repeating the process with all 4 tiles. I am also using a tiny little brush to brush the size of the tiles in case that's needed. And I'm trying to keep the layer of the triple thick as thin as I can, although in this next tile I pour a little too much, but the triple thick dripped on the bottom of my surface, so it was fine. So after I added this first layer, I let them dry for 1 day, so about 24 hours. And then I came back and added a second layer. And then I let them dry for about 3 days. And then after that, my tiles were ready to use. One thing to note is that after you apply the first layer of triple thick, come back to them, maybe 30 minutes, half an hour, and try to check if there are any bubbles. If there are any bubbles, you can just sort of pop them a little bit. That way you don't get bubbles in your surface. So here are my finished tiles. I think they look quite nice and shiny. And now the next step is to add some cork on the bottom of my tiles so that it doesn't scratch the surface when I use them on my tables. So I'm using this cork roll that I got from Joann's, and I'm cutting the squares that are 4 1/8 by 4 1/8 inches, and I'm adding 2 squares per tile. This cork square roll is sort of fabricy and it's a little bit thin, so I decided to add 2 pieces of cork to make sure it was thick enough for my tile, and it had a little cushion as well. Now my tiles, my coasters are ready to use. I think they turned out quite nice. As you can see here, they're cushiony with 2 layers of cork. And now they're ready to use. Again, I will let them dry for about 3 days before I can use them. And always follow the instructions on your Mod Podge and your triple thick or whatever sealer you use on your tiles. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.